make sure that you lead with your heart, because, with love, everything can be solved.
If you want them to get things done, they definitely will get it done. That even if we close our eyes, we can still see your brightness. That is how amazing the VAs in our community is. Welcome to the Phyllis Song Super VA Coaching Program. All right. So again, my name is Phyllis. Some of you guys know me. Some of you guys don't. If you do not know me, welcome to, this, a Realtor Mastermind. This, Mastermind will allow you to figure out how to better, let me come up with a structure for you. And, so today, the 4 hours that we're going to be focusing on is, the first one is obviously the relationship between you and your virtual assistants. If you already have one, how's the relationship going to be looking like? If you do not have one, then, it is, I'm going to tell you the possibility of what could have happened, right? And then the second hour, we're going to talk about, the tasks that you can delegate or leverage to your virtual assistant. There's a lot of things that you can do, whether it's a realtor, a real estate investor, and I'm going to almost just kind of blow your mind a little bit on this side, on what you can do, what are the opportunity that you can do. And in the meanwhile, while you're listening to me, if you see like, man, I have a couple friends that might, work out for this, this workshop, feel free to bring them in. So in that way, ultimately, I just want to give them more value. Since I'm doing this anyway, might as well just benefit for more people. And then afterwards, we're going to talk about, how can a virtual assistant generate leads for you, right? Whether it's through social media, cold calling, lead generation, and things like that. Because again, I am a nerd. I was a real estate agent for 4 years, very first year in business. I was a number 2, rookie of the year for Keller Williams in 2017 or 18. I can't remember, 2017 or 18. And I do not like open houses. I do not like to make outbound calls. So I have many ways that I do to make up for my leads. Okay. And last but not least is, right around maybe like 12 o'clock, right? 9, 10, 11, 12, right? 12 o'clock, we're just going to, have some breakout rooms, some FAQs. So to kind of answer some of the questions that you have and, any other extra information. If you have anything else that you would like me to cover, right, outside of that, the 12 o'clock will be a good time to cover that. Again, this is, I call it a mastermind because I also like collaboration. I don't necessarily like myself teaching the whole time. So, again, I'm an open book. Feel free to ask me any questions you want at any given time. You can type it down below. My team is monitoring it, or you can just, listen, or just unmute yourself at any given time and let us know. Okay. So anyway, again, just a quick introduction about myself and my team, right? My name is Phyllis. I was a real estate agent I am a real estate agent. I was a real estate agent. I think I was a real estate agent, right? For 4 years. And, I'm still holding my real estate license, but I'm not doing it as much anymore because I'm running a, full-time on the VA business, right? However, I think we at least have helped 200 to 300 realtor fully integrate their business and their and virtual assistants. And today I have, very successfully, bring in a couple of my VAs, and I will introduce them in a little bit here. And, ultimately my mission is to free business owners and virtual assistant. Why do I say that? Because, everything is getting more and more expensive in the United States. As a realtor before, right? And I was a mother. I'm always guilty on picking between the two. Should I do more open house? Do I go for more presentation? Or do I spend more time with the kids? And what I realized is I can do both. As long as I input, Monique in my life, right? Virtual assistant in my life, then they can do the thing that we need to do for the client. And, I can still take care of my kids and still make the money that I want to make. So that was the win-win that I have created. And ultimately people always ask me, hey, you're using VAs, right? The second mission is obviously to free the virtual assistants. Why do I say that? We might think that, man, paying them $8 to $12 an hour is like really low, right? One of my daughters say, Mom, I think you sell Filipinos, right? And I'm a Chinese. So somebody said, man, are you a Chinese sweatshop? I said, absolutely not. I'm not a Chinese sweatshop, right? But they thought that maybe we are paying them too little and not taking care of them. I want you to know right now to squash the myth, right? You are paying them at least about 2 to 3 times more on average, compare them in United States and in Philippines. So, on average, they only make maybe a quarter of what we're paying them right now. So they're actually, like Monique is living in a really nice house home in a really nice area. And she also have a maid that take care of her and her kids. So she's living a much better life than I am because I don't even have a maid in United States. So anyway, ultimately that is the goal. And I wanted to, obviously share that with all of you. The truth is this call was actually designed for my, the client that is internal. But at the same time, because of Labor Day and all that. And then I was like, man, I'm just training everybody anyway. Might as well just bring in everybody else so that we can benefit everyone else at the same time. And obviously, if you cannot make it, you most likely are watching the replay. Feel free to obviously write down the comment down below. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. We're just here to help. And again, this is just literally a workshop that I designed for my clients. So there's not going to be a sales call at the end. There's not going to be a presentation at the end of how amazing my service is. I know that my service is amazing already because I've seen it every single day, that has been changing everybody's life. So anyway, perk up your ear, write a bunch of notes, and if you have any questions, let us know. Okay. So here, we have Monique. She dressed like a princess today, right? Very beautiful. She always motivate me to look better because, she's always so cute. Monique, you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, hi everyone. Yeah, so I think you've seen me guys somewhere, but yes, my name is Monique, and yeah, I've been working for Phyllis for 10 years. I used to be Phyllis's transaction coordinator. So I was the one who's, doing all the paperwork when she was doing the real estate, and also not just the paperwork, but also emails, calendar, and also running comparables, listing properties and stuff like that. So I think, but I know I was able to help her with the real estate business at that time, because there were times where I would always ask her, boss, did you already get the commission? And she's like, oh, did it close already? And I said, I always say yes. So kindly check your bank and see if you already have the money. So yeah, that's me. How about the others, Rachel and Rachel?
And Rachel has been with me for about 3 months. No, not more than 3 months. Rachel, why don't you introduce yourself then?
Hi everyone. So I'm the first Rachel. I've been here for already 7 months already. So I've been here since I think February or January. So I am Boss Phyllis's copywriter. I work with the marketing team, and I'm doing all the things that's about doing emails, copywriting, and stuff like that. And I'm accompanying her every time during coaching call and other events like this. So hi everyone, and let's have fun today. Thank you.
And then we have Rachel Ann. Rachel Ann actually just started with us less than 3 days, I think 3 or 4 days. But she's one of the best that we saw so far in the interview process. So you can see everybody in different stages. So you can feel free to ask them any questions too, during the FAQ too. So Rachel, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi everyone. So yes, my name is Rachel Ann Bicanyaga. You can call me Rach or Rachel. Luckily, I've been hired by Phyllis, been trusted by Phyllis, and got hired last week. I am very much excited to start my journey with Phyllis, and I'm very much grateful with the opportunity. I'll definitely take whatever learnings that I'll be getting today, so that I'll do better in helping out. By the way, I am Miss Phyllis, executive assistant. So there. Thank you.
I love it. I love it. So again, we're bringing all 3 of them coming in, right? We're going to have another one that's coming in. Her name is Darlene. She's going to be the Zoom moderator today. So again, I now obviously have the luxury of having a lot of VAs, and everybody's just doing different things. And that's one thing that I really enjoyed about working with virtual assistant, because, they are much more reasonable, in pricing, right? So it allowed me to can afford to hire more people to do, so that in that way they can just do one thing at a time, right? Focusing on one thing instead of, them doing 10 million things at the same time, right? When we hire, as a realtor, I know I obviously grew up in the Keller Williams environment, right? They always talk about the very first one that you want to hire is an administrative assistant, right? And then afterwards, you want to do, get an OSA going, right? And then afterwards, you get your ISA, right? And then you get your buyer agent, right? Because, it's the triangle, right? You got to get your lead, your leverage, and can't remember the last one. Listing, sorry, lead, lead, listing, leverage. So again, what is the opportunity that you have with virtual assistants, right? There is a lot. I think that one thing that I really learned about being a real estate agent is that, feel free to type it down below if it is a yeah or an A, right? Maybe my hallucination is wrong, but let me know. When I'm hanging out with a lot of realtor, most of the time, realtor, on the DISC personality profile, I'm sorry, behavioral profile type, if you guys heard about DISC, is that most realtors are people person. So I personality a lot. Most of you are I, so I and D quite a bit. So people person. And what I found about people person is we usually do not like paperwork. We usually are not organized. We usually do not like technologies, because you are very good with people. You just love to communicate with people. You just love to build a relationship with people. Is that an accurate assumption or not? If it is yes, please type it down below and yes. If it is not, feel free to let me know that it is not. Okay. And what really happened is because, ultimately the biggest challenge for realtor too is that I am always out there. I'm always out there. In order for me to make money, I have to go out and I have to meet people. But then when I'm going out and I am meeting people, right? I would not be able to write contracts. I would not be able to track all my, my processes and my progress, right? And when you buy like a house, one thing that most buyers, right, most of my clients that I talked to so far is that the reason why they pick me over other agent is because I am fast at writing contracts and I'm fast at responding. And why am I doing that? Is because I have my VAs in the chat room together with my clients. Okay, so my VA and me are in the same chat room. So what I do is I actually use WhatsApp. Okay, I actually use WhatsApp. And when I use WhatsApp, I actually create every buyer that I have, I create a group for them. Okay, every buyer that I have, I create a group for them. And then my virtual assistant will always be in it. And then whenever the clients need something, my VA will always respond quickly. And then afterwards, they will be able to just serve it. And I'm always there to monitor to make sure everything's good. If we need to write a contract out, right, Monique will write a contract for me. And then afterwards, I just verify that if everything looks good, then I send it to my client to sign. And then we send it to, to the opposite, to the buyer agent or the seller, the selling agent. And that makes it a lot easier because now I'm not stressful. Now it's a whole lot easier for me to find, to do more. Because ultimately, if you want to make $1 million a year, right? $1 million a year, and I'm talking about GCI, right? $1 million in GCI a year. That means that, again, if you only want to work 40 hours a week, that means that you worth at least minimum $500 an hour, right? What can you do in that $500? For me, as a realtor, the $500 an hour that I wanted to make is obviously, generate more business, right? Going to, a chamber of commerce, right? Doing presentation, right? Talking to other people about my service, right? Maybe doing a video recording that can increase future, future income for me, right? But at the same time, going back to it, right? We always ask everybody to do this thing called the brain dump worksheet. Darlene, if you can put the link down below, right? The brain dump worksheet. And what the brain dump worksheet is doing is that it helps you figure out as a realtor, what do you really wanted to do? What do you really not wanted to do, right? What are some of the stuff that you want to delegate? And then you'll be able to figure out all these details. And then at the end, you will know, okay, who do I want to hire and who do I not need at this moment? Okay, who do I want to hire and who do I not need at this moment, right? Okay, thank you, Philip. Awesome that you're in San Francisco. Feel free to turn on your camera, okay, everyone, if you can, so that way we can see it. So ultimately, again, this is my hallucination, right? Feel free to unmute yourself and let me know. Based on, me coaching realtor, right? And based on me, running a team before, I think that the number one challenge as a realtor is usually we're running out of time, we're not organized, and we're not in the office to get myself organized. And then one of the pitfalls for a realtor is let me hire, right? Let me hire someone when I am organized or after I am organized, right? And so that day never come because it's really hard for you to get organized and the day will never come. So what really happened for me is, I just hired, right? The good news is actually Monique has been with me for 10 years. So she was actually with me on my previous business. And then, we just immediately switched her to this business. And the fun part about this business, the realtor business, is that she actually learned along the side with me. When I was in Keller Williams, she actually attended a lot of courses on how to write contracts, how to create green sheet, the payment sheet, how to communicate with the title company, how, what's a process, who is the mortgage company, what's a credit score, how to run CMA, how to do a listing, at the very beginning, obviously, she will learn all these and I will learn it on my own. And then we'll just collaborate and say, okay, this is how I like it. This is not how I like it. And this is the system we wanted to create. And then what we do is at that time, we actually have Trello board. Okay, we have Trello board. So then we create checklists with each other. So we create a checklist with each other so that we can figure out, okay, this is A, B, C, D, E, right? I have another client who is in seller financing, right? And he's also a realtor. They have 102 checklists per client, right? So then, so what you want to do is we found them a VA that is, this personality profile, it's a C personality because it's very quiet, but everything has to be accurate. So then this person checked from 1 to 102 before they completed the file. So again, is it possible to use a virtual assistant to cover everything that you do? Absolutely. The key too is that you need to know, do you want them to be like you or do you want them to complete you? Do you want them to be like you? Do you want them to complete you? Right? So the very first one, I usually suggest, depending on you, but if you say, man, I'm not organized, right? I don't like paperwork. Then the very first one that you want actually is the opposite of you, which means that you want them to complete you. They might not be like to chit chat and talk to you, but they're very good with their details, right? Contracts, they can see out of the 10 field, one of them is missing. They will be able to spot all that because they're introvert. So they focus on seeing the thing even more, right? So then you can get the person. And again, at the very beginning, when I have my relationship with my VA, right? A lot of people are like, man, I need to show my best. I said, no. So when I hire, just like me and Monique at the beginning, what we did is, hey, I am not organized. I am all over the place. I need you, right? I need you to create the structure for me. Okay. I need you to figure out all the black and white for me. I need you to figure out all these things. My job at that moment, right? I told Monique, I said, my job is to find us more clients, to make more money, right? To focus on the conversion. Your job is to make sure that everything is done on the back end with my approval, obviously, because, it's my company. So it's my way, or the highway, right? So I always clarify that with the VA that my job is actually to pay you 100% to make sure that I have the money to pay you 100% on time. Your job is to get all these things done so that I don't get bogged down, so that I can always focusing on money generating tasks, money generating, work. And that is important for me. And I think that is a big piece that, again, everybody should write it down, right? That, I am a realtor. I am a money-making realtor. I only work on money-making tasks. I'm only focusing on money-making roles. Or kind of like what John Maxwell said, right? Bring yourself to your strength zone. So I am enjoying my life and doing what I love. And whatever that piece that you love is what you are going to do. On the flip side, as a realtor, I am actually a little bit introverted. So when I went to one of my Keller Williams meetup, and they say, "What is this profile?" I say, "Oh, I'm actually a CS at that moment," right? That was like 4 or 5 years ago, before I even hop on to Tony Robbins and all that fun stuff. And immediately, the branch manager, right, just kind of look away, and then went to another person to talk to, because they know successfully that DIIDIS are more successful than a CS. So I was like, wow, that is not nice, right? But one thing that I learned during that time is I hire an ISA, right? So then I'm hiring somebody that's opposite of me, who loves to chit chat, talk on the phone all the time, love to hang out with people. So then what we did is then we generate, leads, right? We call the expireds, right? We call, OSA first, right? And then ISA, depending on how you are generating your business, right? So then we just pretty much, hire a caller, and then ultimately either you buy a list of calling. So at that moment, what I did, one of my strategy is that every time I have an open house, right, I will cover live, right? I use Mojo Dialer, and I get the VA to drop a voicemail on every single one of them. And at the same time, if somebody pick up the phone, then she will make the outbound call. And again, that is one of the things that a virtual assistant can also do. Okay, a virtual assistant can also do for you, right? We work with a lot of Mike Ferry organization. Mike Ferry coaches actually refer us a lot of realtors too. And one of the very first thing that they usually hire is they will hire a local admin first. And then the second person is they are hiring a dialer. And then they usually use us to hire them a dialer. And again, they can be calling, social media. Through social media, which I'm going to go over in depth with you in a little bit, because some of you guys are kind of new on the social media pieces. And some of them is, obviously just calling expired listing, right? Some of you just, literally just calling, right? Some of the people figure out who's the ideal client. So then they will call, your ideal client personality, right? Maybe is an investor, maybe it's Tony Robbins business owners, right? Whatever that would be, right? And then, some of you will actually generate leads from Facebook ads or Zillow ads, right? And then they are just making those calls. Okay. But again, like I said, the first hour, I want to talk about relationship with a virtual assistant, because, a lot of the time, I think as a realtor, we just started to become a business owners, right? So we are really into doing it all. And we're not used to sharing people, because we have the tendency to be a people pleaser, if you don't mind me saying that, because I personality profile usually are people pleaser. So my observation is that sometimes we are not direct. We're not very direct, as if like a C personality profile type would be, or a D personality, because they do not mind hurting other people's feeling. And when you are talking with the virtual assistant, you want to be very direct with them. Hey, I need you to do this. I need you to do that. I need you to do this. I need you to do that. And if you're not really doing it, then the relationship for you and the virtual assistant a lot of time will not really work out, because you are not honest and 100% direct with them on what you really want. Monique, would you want to chime in with anything that you already prepared to do the presentation? If you have any aha moments so far, put it down below. If you have any questions about, the relationship between a VA and a realtor, feel free to type it down below. If you have any questions that you have, feel free to type it down below. And we're going to be switching up, a little bit since, we do not have you guys are all very quiet. So I think I'm going, on the pace a lot faster than I thought. So we're going to, kind of mix it up a little bit so that it's going to be more fun. Okay.
1 second. Okay, can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so what can a virtual assistant do for realtors? Okay, so what is a virtual assistant? What is a real estate virtual assistant? A real estate virtual assistant is a business admin who essentially act as your right hand. So yes, we will actually act as your right hand, wherein just tell us what you need to get done. Like for Phyllis, just like what she mentioned a while ago, she will meet with the client. It's our job to do the back end. Like, okay, I will talk to the client. This is the sales price. This is, I need you to run comparables. Now we run the back end. Phyllis is the one who's presenting it to the buyer or the seller. Okay, or the seller agent or the buyer agent. Okay, now we are the one who's doing everything on the back end, even the listings. When Phyllis is listing a property, it is always a virtual assistant who's doing that. Even, sometimes, I don't know if she already mentioned this, sometimes she doesn't have the time to go show houses. You know what? We're very smart. Okay, we will contact realtors within the neighborhood and we will ask them to do the showing for us. Imagine, right? Even that, okay? Sometimes, some buyers, right? Some buyers would like to see the houses, right? Oh, I want to buy this property. I want to see it. Can you run comparables? Okay, sure. We'll run comparables and then can we go ahead and see the property? Okay, well, at that time, most of the time, Phyllis is not available. So we will hire another realtor to show the house for us. Amazing, right? Anyways, so real estate VA can offer a variety of business services remotely. As I mentioned a while ago, surprisingly, Phyllis will be the one, getting the clients. We run the back ends, starting from the buyer, the document when you, what is that document again? The buyer, it's the contract when you sign the buyers, or the listing agreement. So from that day until it closes, a virtual assistant can actually handle everything, most of it. Of course, there are times that Phyllis needs to talk to the buyer agent or the seller agent, but besides that, besides the repair negotiation, everything else a VA can handle for you. Okay, so let's talk about the admin real estate task. So responding to emails and live chat inquiries, answering and making phone calls, noting down the new important facts, taking messages for you, create minutes of meetings. I think this one is really important as well. As a realtor, you guys will get a lot of messages, a lot of calls, and most of the time you guys are not available, right? So having a virtual assistant take those messages for you. And sometimes, especially when you're listing a property and, you're getting a lot of, you are getting a lot of calls, right? Hey, how much is the property? When are you guys showing the property? Instead of you getting or responding to those calls or responding to those text messages, a virtual assistant can actually just do that for you because it's just providing information. Right? It's just providing, okay, this is the sales price. Yes, we already have an offer because sometimes the buyer agent will just ask, hey, do you already guys have an offer and how much is it? Right? So, and when is the option money ending, or expiring, right? So those are just simple questions that you do not need to take care of. A virtual assistant can do that for you. Okay, so manage your work and personal calendar, rescheduling appointments, setting up meetings. So that's what virtual assistant can do, proofreading and reviewing various documents. This one I really love. Okay, Phyllis just mentioned that we actually learned how to do the contracts together until such time that, she no longer needs to check it. Of course, there are actually sometimes, she needs to like double check, but most of the time, we send all of the offers without her needing to check it. It's because, we already know how to do it. Even at the end of our, the real estate business, we were actually the one who's even sending the emails when it comes to, what do you say that, the repairs, like when you're talking to the buyer agent or the listing agent about the repairs. We created a template for that, so this way it's easier to just change some details, just change the amount, and boop, we already have the email. So, filing documents, gathering and organizing paperwork, this one we can actually do for you. So, calculating costs, creating weekly and monthly reports, and monitoring your work results. Yes, again, what if you cannot run the numbers of, what was that, boss? You were talking about it yesterday. Um, it's about numbers.
KPI.
No. What you can't, it's something about measuring.
What you can't measure, you cannot improve.
Yes, Tony Robbins, of course. And then finance and accounting tasks, managing your budget and receivables. So this is actually huge for, I think, if you guys are investors, because we also have an accountant, because Phyllis and the husband used to do a lot of investment properties. So it's mandatory that you have an accountant that's managing all of your expenses, budgets, make sure the receipts are all in one place, everything is computed. Very, very, very important. If not for this, we will not know that we are going over budget and on these some of the properties that we're doing actually. So again, if you guys are running and if you guys are investors, please, it's time for you guys to get your accountants or someone who's going to be doing the bookkeeping for you. Okay. So what else? Reminding you of upcoming obligations and events in advance. Verifying and setting up appointments with buyer or sellers. Yes, this is the showing time. So for Phyllis, actually, sometimes it would be, okay, Monique, this is the property that, this is the properties that we will be showing today. Let's say she has 3 properties today. This is where I'm coming from. What we do now is we map it. We go to Google Maps. Okay, Phyllis is coming here on this. This is the start point. We make sure the properties are actually like, this way she's not going back and forth, right? So which let's say we need to see 3 houses. We will make sure the next house would be near the starting point, and then whichever is the next, and then we schedule it to showing time accordingly. Okay, so at that time also showing time, sometimes you have to call the agents, right? So we're the one who's calling the agent, let's say getting the codes, or sometimes we cannot get in, where's the key, stuff like that. So again, a virtual assistant can do that for you. And then what else? Receptionist duties like answering incoming calls, already mentioned a while ago. So operations, data entry, MLS, CRM, and reporting. I think we already talked to a lot of realtors. This is one of the main reasons why you guys are hiring a virtual assistant, but because you guys do not want to manage the data entry jobs, right? Again, you do not have to hire a virtual assistant to do it for you. MLS also, I know MLS, sometimes you need to edit, some stuff, right? Like small things that you do not need to do. Or even for MLS also, if you need some information, hey, can we get who's the seller on this property, right? Or sometimes, can you run comparables for me? Hey, can you check the details of this property? Does it have this? Another person can do that for you. Do not have to do it. Just ask them and you'll get the information. Especially if you guys are agents, if you guys are outside, maybe meeting clients, stuff like that. Sometimes you do not have the time to check your MLS. Just text your virtual assistant and they will give you the answer. CRM. Okay, managing your CRM, very, very huge. Okay, make sure all of your clients are in one place, because let's say, they might know someone who would like to sell, would like to buy. They can always refer you, right? And sometimes we also need to track, okay, when is the anniversary? Okay, I want to send them anniversary gifts, right? Stuff like that. Then another person can do that for you. So collect feedback from your clients and team members. Absolutely. I think having a great reviews on your account, it might be Facebook, it might be Zillow, would definitely help you get clients. And if I'm buying a property or if I'm selling my property, I would check for, I would definitely check the agent's review, right? And if they have bad reviews, sometimes I might slow down a little bit on, getting that agent. So yeah, getting feedback from your clients, that's something a VA can do for you. So basic bookkeeping and including, I think IA would be, I know E is expenses. I forgot the I, but P&L is profit and loss tracking. So I already mentioned that a while ago. If you guys are doing, if you guys are doing like investing, if you guys are investors, it is mandatory that you get one. I know hiring a bookkeeper or accountant in the US is very expensive. So again, we're not selling here, but we're just telling you guys, it's less expensive to get a virtual assistant to do this for you. So manage contracts, agreements, and other documents. Phyllis already mentioned this a while ago. Yes. Also, when I was doing the contracts for Phyllis, I would already know, like, but because we were checking the emails, right? I would already know what documents to prepare. Okay, do we need another document that is attached to this? Let's say the HOA, or let's say they need to extend the option period. Okay, there's another document for that. Okay, are they wanting to stay on the property, and they wanted to rent the house for another 2 weeks? Okay, there's another document for that. So, are they canceling the offer? Okay, we have documents for that. Again, you do not have to worry about it. If you will train your VA really well, they can do everything for you without you worrying about it. Okay, so new agent recruiting and onboarding. I think this is one thing, because Phyllis was handling a team as well when she was doing when she's more on the real estate side. So this is one thing that a VA can also do for you. Preparing presentations. Okay, this one, I can't remember a time, if I can't remember a time that Phyllis came up with her own presentation. Boss, correct me if I'm wrong. Sorry. Rachel would attest to this. Okay, Rachel is laughing there. Yes. Right? Again, this is not prepared by Rachel, but when it's boss, it's prettier, let's just say. So it's Rachel, and I'm not saying this is not pretty. I'm just saying, okay, it's different. So, but you did a great job, Rachel, by the way. And then drafting a list of inquiries. So there. What else? So digital marketing tasks. Okay. So this is, I think, one of the reasons also why realtors or investors are hiring virtual assistant. Okay, it's because, yes, you do not have the time to go ahead and do your postings. Okay, a new property, new listing, just sold, something like that. Okay, a virtual assistant can do that for you. Okay, also those, making flyers, right? Hey, this is for sale. And then you're showing the old picture and the new one. Sometimes it's like that, right? Or this is recently sold, or this is on the market, stuff like that. So again, a virtual assistant can do that for you. And also, for you to be able to get more clients, right, you need to get yourselves out in the market, because when they check realtors, let's say within the area, if you are not searchable, they will not be able to find you. So if you do not have a social media person yet, make sure you hire one to get you to get so they can get you your presence you needed for you to get more clients. Okay, because you need to post almost daily, right? Almost daily, if not every day. You make sure at least you have 4 to 5 posts in a week. So if you do not have the time to do that, you're running out of ideas to do that, make sure you hire a virtual assistant. Again, we're not promoting. You may not get it from us or get the person from us, but please make sure you get one. Okay. Yes, the flyers, the banners, presentations, white papers, newsletters, PR contents, even your presentation. The listing presentation. I know if you're with us, I'm so sorry, Keller Williams. I hope you're not listening. Their presentation is not as good, right? But if you guys are going to the CRM, right? When you check their presentations, it's not as good. So you can hire your virtual assistant to create those contents for you. Okay, those, especially the presentation, the listing presentation. And now the video advertisements. Okay. This is actually I've seen some realtors that we have, especially the old ones. They actually hired a VA from us, and they have them edit videos. It's like the house, sometimes they will hire like what's that, the drone. Sometimes you still need to edit those, right? Yes. So you need to edit those. And of course, you don't have the time to do this. You don't have, I mean, you already hired someone to do those, the drone thing for you. Might as well get a VA to make it more prettier, right? So again, hire a virtual assistant. Okay, of course, the property research. Yes, we need this, especially if you guys are, selling a property or buying a property. You need to do this first, right? The VA can do that for you. Okay, especially running comparables. Okay, this property is actually within the flood area, so I don't think we need to let the buyer know, right? So managing your social media presence, I think I already mentioned this a while ago. Make sure you have someone who's posting constantly for you. Make sure they are SEO friendly, especially Facebook right now. They are utilizing SEOs. Okay. So sales, research buyer and seller leads, update your CRM with notes on leads. Of course, up this one, we will get a lot of clients, right? So when you guys have those clients, sometimes they're not ready to just sell or to just buy, but they wanted to. They're not just ready. So make sure you have a virtual assistant that could take notes when they are ready. When do we need to follow up? Okay. Prospecting and cold calling. Yes. Actually, we have a lot of clients that are hiring someone to do cold calling. So if you need one, can make sure you get one. Follow up with leads, set appointments, update sellers on weekly performance, and lead screening. So prospecting, yes, sometimes you have there's circle prospecting on MLS, right? You do not need to contact them. Have your virtual assistant do that for you. Maybe send an email, or maybe call the agent and just call them, or just send them an email. It's up to you. Again, that's something that you do not need to do. Okay. So that was, I don't know if that's enough, but I hope I made a lot of sense to you guys. Sorry.
Yes, absolutely. I think that is very helpful, right? She actually do a much better job than I am gathering all the list of what a person can do for you. And again, I think that is very, very crucial and important because, at the very beginning, right, when you are a solo agent, what do you need is you need an administrator that can help you be organized. Just like what Monique said, right? You give them everything that you do not want it to do. You give them everything that is not money making. Right? Not money making, just like what she said, is like the contract, follow up with the timeline, because sometimes you might have 10 clients at the same time working on this. Sometimes you might forget about the option period, right? Sometimes you're going to forget about, the earnest money, right? Sometimes you forget about the closing. Sometimes I literally forget. I was like, when are we closing? Oh, it's already closed. Sometimes you forget about, I mean, at least I forget, maybe not you, but I forget about, scheduling the closing, right? Sometimes I was like, okay, what's going on with with the lending lending guideline on this? But we have a checklist that we ultimately can share with you. Is that, but again, what we have is obviously for Texas. So if you're not in Texas, might not work stuff for you, right? But she just followed the checklist for every single contract. And again, she sit in the office and work on these things. So it's a whole lot easier for her. Not that I couldn't, but a lot of time, when I'm doing this, I got to remember about that. I got to answer phone calls. So I'm not organized. And it's not that I'm not organized, but the job that I have doesn't necessarily allow me to be organized. If I'm organized, I'm not selling. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like it's two different personality profile type. That's why a lot of realtor did not last, right? 80% of realtor did not make it after first year because they realized that they want to be organized. They need to be organized. But how can you be organized and go out and do all these things, right? I am, again, like I said, I'm a C personality profile at the very beginning. So I'm a very organized person. So doing showing homes sometimes get me frustrated because showing home is not an organized job. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes this house is going to be open. Sometimes this house is not. You kind of have to go with the flow. And I wanted to share with you one more thing too. When I'm going on open houses, showing the homes, what I do is I actually have my VA working with me next to me. I say, okay, we saw this house. It's working or not working. Find me the next home. Prepare me for this. So they actually prepare me, a route, and all the home that fit the criteria. And then they send it to the client, show them what else do you want to add or not. And if you do not have enough, then Monique and, I used to have another team player too. They are actually the one that called the agent and asked for the code, asked for the details. And then while I am driving safely, building a relationship with the client and go to the house and, whether I'm doing, my super key or, getting a code, but they handle that while I'm communicating with them. I know that sometimes you're like, well, how do you work with a virtual assistant, right? Some of you guys already work with VAs. Some of you guys are not, right? So, another piece of it is that you just literally just need a phone, And then I have some realtor that work with them on a messenger, Facebook Messenger. So they'll send voice note back and forth. Some realtor use Voxer, right? So they do a walkie-talkie, just going back and forth, right? Some people, like for me, I use WhatsApp a lot in the past. So I just tell her on WhatsApp, right? And every client that I have, I actually have a WhatsApp group that I created. So, so every client that we communicate is very, it's very close into this person. And then I focus on investor because I like the investor, have multiple transactions. So I don't really spend a lot of time on building more relationship. I just hold on to one or two relationship and I have multiple transactions because I was also a real estate investor before I become a realtor. So I know the languaging, I know how they think, I know how they do it. And I also provide free, awesome. And I also provide free staging for any home that I list. So real investor really like what I show them, right? And with that, I so I know my ideal client. But again, so then when I organize my VAs, that's what I organize them based with. So my realtor investor also know my VA. So a lot of time they know, hey, Monique, can you run me a comparison? Hey, Monique, can you do this for me? Hey, Monique, can you do that for me? So then, I don't really do a lot of those work. So again, get your VA to do what is money. That's the crucial, critical, systematic things. And then you do all the flexibility, the things that is, kind of go with it, go with the flow. Right. And then if you realize, one of the big structure too is, if something that you're doing, you did it every, at least 3 times already. Right. And you figure out there's a system for it. I always figure that out and then delegate down to Monique and my team members and say, this is how I like it to be. And also, this is why. I always explain the why to my agent, right? And my EA, right? Because then they will know what to look into. Why is actually number one thing of how important it is. The reason why a lot of time a VA and a and a VA does not necessarily a VA and a realtor doesn't necessarily work, or a EA and a business owner doesn't necessarily work, is that you do not tell them about the why. You tell them what to do, you tell them how to do it, but you do not really explain the why behind it. And without them understanding the why, they don't know how to make decision on your behalf. So when I work with my VA, they first started, right? I get them to do all the easy tasks, right? The basic tasks that can never go wrong with it. Contract is definitely one of them, like what Monique was saying, right? Listing is actually one of them, because you spend a lot of time to prepare them, and then we do it together. But the key is that you wanted to get them to do it, and then you explain to them, and then you test them out with their common sense, because again, common sense is really not common, to be honest with you. The home in Asia, a lot of them are being built by bricks. Okay. The home in United States is being built by wood. Because, here we're four seasons. So, it contracts and expand by the materials wise. The home over there do not have a foundation issue. The home here has foundation issue, right? So it's very different. So you have to really build about the why. In the Philippines, they just started to have hot water system in their home. But in United States, we have hot water every single day. We don't think that it is something different. In United States, we have central AC unit. In Philippines, they do not have it. They have single unit, per location. So you need to really educate them about all that, so that they know what it is about. However, is it possible for your VA to do everything? Absolutely. Everything that Moni have listed down just now, everything was done by one of my, VA or EA before. Right. I even have a EA that, because we were doing a flipping business for a lot, right? We were doing 15 homes at the same time at that moment. Right. And when we were doing that, it was amazing. And then again, a virtual assistant, most of them are college graduate. Okay, most of them are college graduate. They're very, very smart people, and they're very adaptable. As long as you allow them to ask you questions, they learn really, really fast. So what that means is that they learn, right? You explain to them, they learn. Allow them to watch YouTube, watch Google, right? I also taught them how to be resourceful. Be very resourceful. Go ask Google, go ask YouTube before you ask me, right? Don't ask me what is the option money. Go Google it first and then verify with me. So that way it moves faster, right? So then I even get to a point where my VA is the one that prepare repair amendment for me. They're like, what? Repair amendment? Yeah. And, the honestly speaking, to a point where my EA actually got so much better on repair amendment than I am. And what I realized is you always wanted to find a systems. Okay. And again, I know sometimes as a real estate agent, we might not be good at building a system. And obviously I'm a C personality. So I'm good at building systems, right? And that's feel free to work with us, right? Or learn how to build a system. And again, Keller Williams have some of the system, EXP has some of the system. Most of the time, your broker will have some system. And if you're a broker, you ultimately already have a system that works for you, right? So what it is you wanted to build, you can obviously build a system, and then you delegate it down for them so that they can watch it. How long is the initial training typically, and what happened if the VA leave the company? Do you assign the VA to have the same trainings and real estate background already? Love that question, Kendra. So what we usually do is we will look for people that already have some real estate experience already, real estate background, right? But a lot of time we focus on people that have growth mindset, like willing to learn, right? Positivity. Those are most of the key characteristics I'm looking for. And then I'll train them on that. And then the initial training, the truth is, I don't necessarily train them I don't see them as training. I see that I'm just doing the work, right? Especially if I'm a solo entrepreneur, right? I'm just a single agent. I have to do all this work anyway. So what you do is you just turn on the magical Zoom, right? And then share screen and then do remote control. And you just say, okay, right now I'm creating a contract. Get the call recorded. Okay, I'm doing the contract right now. Get the call recorded. And then I'm going to work on it. And then I'm just going to explain to you along the way. Right. And then so then what we do is I'm just doing the work. I'm checking my emails. She's looking at me checking my emails, and I'm doing the work, and she's checking, when I'm doing the work. Okay. So she is, so I'm getting my task completed while she's looking at it. And then I'm explaining the why behind it for her. Right. So that is considered the training. How long does it take? It depends on what are the tasks that you give her. I would say in general, every task, maybe a day or two. Right. Contracts. I mean, to me, it's just a day or two, but it's very intensive training. And also, always, Kendra, always get the call recorded, because your time is so important, right? Again, how much do you worth? You want to make $1 million, 500, $1 million is $500 an hour, right? So you do not want to train them multiple times. I hate training people multiple times, but I always use Zoom. And I get them to get the call recorded. So that way they can watch it 20 times, but I'm only training them once. Okay. Do it 20 times, but they only, but I'm training them only once. And then while I'm training them, I was like, okay, I'm working on this. I want you to take notes. Okay. Taking notes is very important. And then also create checklists for me. Okay. Step 1, fill in the buyer information. Step 2, fill in the pricing information. Stage 3, fill in this. So then we will figure that out together. Okay. And when you're training the contracts, this is one thing that I train them very well on, which is, okay, ultimately there's 20 fields that you need to fill in. There's 3 signature and there's 5 initials. So before you finish the contract, I need you to check that. And I'm also using this thing called the show and show. So I said, okay, I'm going to show you how I fill out the contracts. And I want you to show me how you get it done. So that way you're literally seeing them. By the way, on Zoom, you can also have this thing called the remote control. So they can actually do it through your computer while you're working on it. So while they are working on it, so you can see what they're doing. And I love that feature. When it was, me and Monique show in the past, right? Right now I have 40 virtual assistants. But when it's me and Monique show, I was eating my food or cleaning my house, and Monique was doing the contract while I'm just seeing her doing it. I don't do it. So I can multitask while she's completing the contract. And if it's wrong, I just say, oh, wait. Go back to the 2 field. This is what you need to do. So then I educate them when I'm working on something else. But she is getting used to it. I usually only train them one time, and then afterwards it's a whole lot easier and better. And then ultimately she's just completing the task. And then what happens if they leave the company? I don't really mind. I don't really care to a certain extent. I always tell people that I have 2 types of VAs. I have a replaceable one and an irreplaceable one. Replaceable one is the people that just started, right? I don't mind whether they're leaving or not leaving, right? But they have to hit a certain standard for my company before they can become irreplaceable. And then when you become irreplaceable, I take care of you even more. I obviously there's going to be pay raise, right? A lot of leadership, training more, because I care about you, right? I do not want you to leave. If you leave, I feel hurt personally, right? So I replaceable and irreplaceable. So I never really worried about the replaceable people, because it's easy to be replacing them. And how? Because every training that I do, I get them recorded, right? So every call is recorded. The VA is supposed to organize them for you, right? So if they do leave, the next one that come in, they can just watch all the recording first. And then at the end, you just have to touch up on any questions that they have. So it's a whole lot easier for you to retrain. So I'm never afraid of leaving people. This is a really good book if you wanted to listen to it. It's Michael Gerber. Okay, Michael Gerber, E-Myth. Okay, E-Myth. That is the book. It really talks about, it's a system-based business, not a people-based business. How McDonald's becoming a huge franchise company, because everything that they drill it down is into very detailed. Do you know that for McDonald's, every burger patty, why is consistent is because They put it in every 7 seconds, you flip it, and then the next 7 seconds, you take it out. So everyone is very simple. That's why they only pay minimum wages for all their people, because it's so clean and clear. The reason why a lot of the time the VA will leave you or any agent will leave you is because your business is going on very gray. That's what I talk about. Very gray. What does that mean? It means that you do not know a lot of the time what you want. Okay. And you do not able to tell them, is this a black? Is this a white? Is it yeah or nay? Yeah or nay? Yeah or nay? You know, being a successful company, in my perspective, based on my experiences, 80% of what you need to do has to be black and white. Okay, so then you know how to delegate it down to your VA, right? And then afterwards, the 20% is the 20% that, you know, your EA or your agent bring it up to you. Hey, I don't know about this. What can we do? And then you give them the answer and you figure out, can I make this into black and white? So if this happen again, this is what you need to do. If this happen again, you know, this is what you need to do. Okay. And then it is simple, because ultimately now you only have to work on your business 20%, you know. And again, you know, this is what people always say, right? 80-20, right? You focus on your time on the 20% that give you the 80% of the results, right? And then your VA is working on the 80% of all the systematic stuff to make sure that the transaction go well. So for me, I get to a point at the end that I only did meeting with the client, build amazing relationship, right? So that I know when I hire a showing agent to go show homes, right? They are not going to take the client away from me, right? Build amazing relationship. And then afterwards, you know, sign the buyer or listing agreement, right? Sign the buyer or listing agreement. And afterwards, my VA take over pretty much the whole transaction, right? And then afterwards, you know, I negotiate, right? The contract, right? Talking to the agent, negotiating the contract and things like that. And then after we put it on the contracts, again, my VA and EA take care of everything else. And then you get to close. And then a lot of time I don't even go to the title company for closing because I have such a strong relationship with my clients. And then afterwards, I just collect the check. And that's all that I do. I just technically do the three things: build their relationship, right? Get the contracts, right? And collect the checks. That's it. Everything else were all done by, you know, all my virtual assistants. And again, I did not know at the beginning that was a superpower. I thought every realtor know how to do it until I realized that it is not. Most realtors are not good with delegating, right? And at the same time, most realtors are not good with telling people what they really need and how it is, because ultimately we all are people pleaser. Right? We all are people pleaser. We love to please people. But sometimes because you're people pleasing, it's really hard for you to tell your VA what is the black and white, how are you supposed to do it? And sometimes the relationship is just a little bit rocky. But again, the good news is every single training that you do, again, they cost you how much money? At least $500 minimum, right? If you want to make $1 million. So every call that you do has to be recorded. Then afterwards, those recording can be replayed by your EA or your agent, right? And then for your team members, if they have any questions, right? For your clients, if they have any frequently asked questions. And then afterwards, you know, it doesn't matter whether you're working with the same VA or different VA, but again, you wanted to get all the calls recorded. So anytime anybody leave, anybody move, you have this library full of every recording that you have, so you can reuse them. Right. So I hope that kind of answer your questions. Right. Thank you, Kendra. I love the interaction. So everybody, you know, feel free to give me any interactions, and that way I know where you are at. That definitely give me a lot of energy to continue on and answer any of your questions. And I know some of you guys actually do have virtual assistants. So if you want to bring the virtual assistant in, feel free to do that too. So in that way they can ask some questions and they can also understand. Okay. Since we do not have a lot of participants, I'm going to go to the next path, right? The next part of the thing, the conversation is, what else can the VA do for you, right? How can you generate leads through virtual assistant? Okay, how can you generate leads through virtual assistant? Like I said, I am not a traditional real estate agent. That's why I think I can bring a whole lot more for you. Okay. So I was building a team. Okay. So about 2-3 years ago, I was building a team. I have about 5 agents under my belt. And I realized that I really need to use online, right? That's right way before COVID. And I was on online marketing for 2 years. And I realized that there is so much that you can do with online marketing that a lot of realtor does not know, especially like, like if you are with like Keller Williams, right? What they usually teach you is door knock, right? Cold calling, right? And your sphere of influence, right? Absolutely. Is there anything wrong? No, I don't think there's anything wrong. And open houses, right? However, a lot of these are not something that I like to do, and I know it's very competitive. So then I went into the online world and trying to figure out what it is. And I would like to share with you all, all these ideas that I have been training a lot of my clients on. And I have been training a lot on, on myself when I was building a team. And it is very effective. Okay. So make sure that, you write all the notes. Okay. So the very first thing that I want you to realize is that a lot of realtor out there actually just wanted to sell to anybody who wants to buy a house or who wants to sell a house. There's no systems at all, right? As long as you breathe, as long as you wanted to buy or sell a house, come talk to me. I realize that is actually not the best way of getting things done, because you do not have this thing called the ideal client. Okay, so you wanted to really figure out who is your ideal client. Okay, who is your ideal client? Because if you know about marketing, right? Again, I'm not sure whether you attend any marketing classes or not. Is that if you go to this is what my coaches always teach me. If you go to a train station and you just say, "Hey everyone, turn around. Hey everyone, turn around." Not a lot of people is going to turn around because it's just so many people, right? However, if you say, "Hey Rachel," then everybody who named Rachel is going to turn around, right? Because you wanted to nail into very specific, right? So what I did is, I actually pull a lot of agents that actually, at that moment, a lot of my agents are a little bit lower in confident, not really good with talking to people, some introvert. So, I'm genetically attracting people just like me, right? So then and while I was learning it, then we realized that, okay, who is your ideal client, right? Feel free to type it down below. Do you know who's your ideal client? So we drill into who are everybody's ideal client, right? Because, I'm with Tony Robbins, Dean Graziosi. They talk about you just have to micro niche it to your ideal client so that they know who you really are serving. Don't serve everybody, because if you're only serving Rachels, all the Rachels will come, right? Because they know you're looking for them. Okay, so your messaging is going to be so good. So one of my real estate agent that I work with, she's a Filipino. I know, I love Filipinos, right? She's a Filipino. She's also a nurse, and she's also a mother. Okay, so that is the 3 things that she likes, because she was in real estate for 2 years, didn't close a sale. She's just doing everything that what everybody else is doing, open house, this, that, whatever, and just talking to everybody. But it was really hard for her, especially her English is not really that good, right? And I told her, I said, you should really figure out who is your ideal client, who are the people that you like to hang out with, even if they do not make any money for you, right? Who's your sphere? Who's your people? Who do you really understand? Right? For me, it was investor, because I was an investor. I know what investor is thinking. I know they do not like to spend money on staging. I know they want to make long-term wealth. I know that they have a lot of money, but they do not want to do, they wanted to have the maximum, ROI, in every single, deal, right? And their experience, right? So, but they're very busy, right? So I'm doing all the busy work for them. So I'm going to talk about mine in a little bit here, but I'm going to talk about, this realtor, right? And what it does is that so then we realized that is the 3, right? She was a nurse before. She liked to speak Tagalog, right? She's really good at Tagalog, right? And she's a mom. So then we started to create a branding for her, right? A branding for her. And the branding is, we started to change things around, right? And we only focus on these three things: a nurse, a mother, and a Filipino mother. So if we hit all three, it's a closed done deal. Okay, if we hit all three, it's a closed done deal. But if it's just hitting two, it's a great thing. And what we do is, one of the practice that she does is every day. Okay, make sure you write this down. Okay, every day she go on her Facebook. She find people that meet those three criteria. Right, she meet people who are meeting this three criteria, and she add 10. Okay, she add 10 friends, 10 to 20 friends into her friend group. Okay, she add 10 or 20 friends that is maybe like their sphere into the friend group. Because I think you can add up to like 30 people, but you do not want your Facebook to flag you, right? That is just like that, nurses, Filipino, mom, right? Those are the three. And then, so every day she will add 10 to 20 of them. And then also every day she will send messages to 10 or 20 of them too. Every day. That's what she does. That is her lead generation. Okay. That's her lead generation. And then she also add herself into mom's group, Filipino group, and nursing group. Okay. Mom group, nursing group, right? And then she just starting to get very active in those. And then she was also getting into very active into a lot of those, community in her area that has those. So she just pretty much put herself out there, right? Because, out of sight, out of mind, the more that you see them, the more that, they are going to remember about you. And after she does that, then she posts on her Facebook. Okay. She posts every day on her Facebook. This take about, I think, 3 to 6 months to take off, though. I have to tell you that. Right. Then, so what she does every day is she posts something that related to real estate. Okay. Sometimes she posts it in Tagalog. Sometimes she posts it in English. Right. And she celebrate her wins every time she closes a deal. She just educate people about homes. And then she also focus on her area, which is Frisco, right? She only focus on her area about 40 miles radius, right? She only focusing on her area too. So that's technically the big four that she has, right? And then what she does is now she nurture all her buyer in her Facebook. Again, Facebook, you can have 5,000 friends. How many? 5,000 friends. And you can unfriend people that not becoming your friend. So she used her Facebook to be her hunting ground. Okay, so every day that's what she does. And about 6 months into it, she started to close deals. People just like, hey, I'm buying a home. I don't know what to do. Can you help me? And she also started to get referrals. Hey, I noticed that you are the Frisco Filipino, agent, and I know you are also a nurse, so you understand me, right? So then she started to get free leads. The most incredible pieces is that she actually have a lead that coming through, and the person say, hey, I just bought a new home, and they asked me, is there an agent that represent me? And I say yes, and I put your name on it. I hope that's okay, right? And the realtor's like, of course that's okay, right? And what did that do? She actually made 3% on a home that she had never done anything at all. She didn't show the home. She didn't do anything. And she was surprised because the client did not respond to any of her messages. And she sent social media posts. She sent videos to this client, but this client did not do any response. But in the client's mind is, man, Arlene has been adding a lot of values to me. So she is my realtor. She's my realtor. Right? Because she's speaking the language. And again, most of her clients are nurses. So she speaks a lot about, hey, I know you're really tired, right? And you only can work, I know you're busy and you're working in a toxic environment. Remember to eat today, right? Feel free to talk to me after 10 o'clock because I know usually that's the time that you're done. Right? Are you moving close to some of these hospital, 5 miles away from here? Oh, I found this home that is super nice for this area. Are you interested? So she is really just focusing on all the homes in the area for nurses. And obviously the nurse is going to hear the nursing, right? Because ultimately, again, come back to me, right? I am a real estate agent. I'm a real estate flipper, right? So if you come to me and say, hey, Phyllis, I wanted to flip homes, no problem. Let me educate you. Are you trying to do seller financing? Are you trying to negotiate with them, right? Are you trying to do this, that, or whatever, right? And they know that I know the conversation. A lot of real estate agents, when you are just targeting everybody, and if your client asking you some of these questions, you won't be able to answer them because you're not in the field. Okay. Another example, another agent that I have underneath us, he is a veteran. Okay. He's a military veteran. So what he focusing on is he go into military and find a veteran who are retired, right, or are injured and need a home. And then that's what he does. He just represent them. And do you know that actually only 10% of veterans know that they actually have no money down, a veteran loan? A lot of veteran actually does not know. So a lot of his messaging that is coming into it is that, hey, do you know that you do not need to put any money down and you'll be able to buy a home? And also, do you know that as a veteran, you also have this veteran land area that you can buy cheap land for investment? A lot of veteran does not know, but again, since he is a veteran, so he knows about that, right? So that works for him. And then I have another realtor. He is a musician, right? He loved music. He loved playing music, and he used to run a club. And so now what he looks for, he's looking for club owner and also musician. Do you know one thing about musician? Musician need a home that has sound blocking, right? They at least need a room that have sound blocking features so that when they make music, it's going to sound really well. Okay, it's going to sound really well. So what they do is, so all he does is, hey, I know you, musician. I know how your schedule is. Club owner, I know how your schedule is like. I know what kind of home you're looking for. I know what your need is. So come look for me so that way I can teach you what you need. So we really drill it into who is our ideal client. And then we start helping them with a bunch of those related information. And then, and I wanted to level up a little bit more with it, right? You're like, well, I mean, Phyllis, okay, I figure out my ideal client, right? I know who they are, what they are, how much they make, what do they like, right? And you most likely are drawing people that is just like you. The key clue is that you're looking for people that's just like you so that you can be you when you're doing it. In the online marketing world, right? Again, sometimes I feel like I get to be proper, right? I need to be proper. My video has to be good. Everything has to be nice. But the truth is, if you're just looking for people just like you, you might not need that. One of my coaches, she coached moms. Okay, she coached mom, and one of the big aha moment that I have is that when she's coaching the moms, she doesn't have her makeup on, and she doesn't dress up, right? She have her kids running around, but her community just love her. Why? Because they are exactly the same. They do not like to put makeup on. The kids is going to run around in the background, but they do not mind. But she found her community, right? She found her community of people who are just like her. And if you can find the community and people that are just like her, ultimately, what did you do? You're turning your client to become your friends. You're turning your clients to become your friends. And friends stay with you forever. Friends send you other friends. So then you started to get a lot of referrals from, your client who become your forever friends. And again, Keller Williams always said, how many people do you get, right? How many people do you usually get from every single lead, right? It's 4, right? Every person in a year know 4 people that is moving in and out. Right. So that is what when I was doing it, I'm building a team. And again, it's proven to be successful. And also even an introvert can get it done. Right. Because again, the Filipino agent that I have, she worked from home. She only do her sphere. Again, this is her system. She add people into her friend group. She messaged them every day, right? Not every day. She's messaging them every day, but again, there's a deep dive on how. But she just focus on maybe today it's A and B, tomorrow is B and C, C and D, and so on and so forth. So you're not really bombarding them. And most important thing is you can actually do just use your phone and make a video, right? And then you can just copy that video and paste it to every single group, like every single person. So now you're just, hey, happy Valentine. I'm just really thinking about you. How's everything going? Great. Awesome. Feel free to send me a message if you have any questions. I just think about you. So she would just do that kind of video and then she would just paste it to everybody. Or, hey, welcome to 2023. Do you need a reassessment of your home? Because I know we need to, file for taxes, right? If you need help, let me know. I'm gonna rerun the comp for you, right? And then she's gonna use that video and send it to everybody, right? Hey, again, it's moms, right? So, hey, do you know that this 5 tips on how to, get your kids to be good, right? And then she will, again, send that out to everybody. Right. And again, that is how she do her sphere. Instead of calling people, she do it through social media. And anybody want any level up, ideas, right? Just let me share with you another level of ideas, which is that what you also can do is now you drill down your ideal client. Now you know who you really want. Then you can actually do Facebook ads. Okay. Facebook ads is really easy to do. I can maybe share with you. I can really share with you how you do it. If you know how to do Facebook ads, feel free to let me know. Then I won't be sharing this with you. But if you don't, I can just really share this quick skills for you that most people does not know. Okay, let me pull out one of my pages really quick here. Absolutely, Kendra. I love what you're talking about. The key with Facebook ads is that you do not want to do, we have this challenge before too, but when you're posting them, you do not want, they have bots that automatically flag you. So you do not want to use the word real estate. You do not want to use the word realtor. And sometimes you might even want to look into like the housing, right? So you wanted to be really smart on figure out like, how to, let's say, how to organize your home, when you first buy a house, right? You wanted to look, you do not want to make a Facebook ads like a Facebook ads. It's almost as like a Trojan horse. And I'm going to share with you how you can do it in a little bit here. So that way you can kind of have some idea. And thank you for that feedback. Okay. So let me show you something really quickly. So what I will usually do is like, okay, 5 tips on how to, buy a home, 5 tips on how to share a home, right? 5 tips on whatever that would be. And if you look at here, so what my VA, and sometimes you just want to do celebrating the wins, right? Oh, I just want to celebrate a win. I just bought a home for this person, right? And then you boost that post to people, okay? And again, this is, when I used to do my real estate. So, again, it has not been updating for a while. Oh, but I actually obviously have a core circle pick. So I'm still posting, which is amazing. Right? Okay, for example, this one, right? DIY wall art design, right? Sharing some DIY art design from favorite bloggers. This is amazing. What it is that the post that you do not want to put a lot of like home buying stuff in there, at least not at the very beginning, but you're targeting people who want to buy a house. Right. And you can see right here, right, boost a post. So what you want to do is you just wanted to boost the post. Again, just do like $5-10, $15-20, right? Because ultimately you just wanted to get, get leads, right? Okay, while I'm loading this, I'm going to tell you this thing. So what you wanted to do is you wanted to Google Facebook ad, okay, library, okay, Facebook ad library. Okay, let me feel free to write this down. One thing that I learned from my coaches too is that, what you want to do is you wanted to model after success, right? When you get your VA to do your social media or Facebook ads, this is what I always say, find the 5 people that you really like, or who is your ideal client who like them. Okay, the 5, right? So like for me, it's Tony Robbins, Dean Graziosi, Russell Brunson, and these people obviously will have people who want to buy a home. And then I find 5 people that is relate to my my area of expertise, right? Like let's say if I'm a realtor, or maybe it's like Mike Ferry, right? I'll find a couple of realtor that's in my market that's doing really hot, right? And then I will see what are they posting in my area. And I find the color scheme and everything on this 5 that I love the most, and I combine them. And then that is what I will create for my social media content. Okay, that's what I will create for my social media content. And again, here, this is obviously really good, for you to figure out what kind of ads you want to look for, right? So ad category, I just put our ads, right? You can do a housing ads too if you want to. And again, sometimes you can just put down that yes, this is an housing ad. So then they will just pass you through, through a housing ad. So what I would say is like, Mike Ferry, right? There you go. You can see this Mike Ferry organization, right? 53.5. And then you can see right here, what Mike Ferry is posting. How do they post it, right? This is Tim Ferry dad, right? So I will look into, okay, mindset, right? Organization or whatever. So you can kind of copy what he posts, right? Okay, so Tim Ferry, right? Tom Ferry, sorry. It's been a while. Tom Ferry. Because Tom Ferry focusing on a lot of realtor, so he always will get into like the violating the fair housing thing. So you want to look into it, and you notice he only put the word agent if you're committing to make the best time in real estate. So then you wanted to start looking into what he does, right? What he is really focusing on and things like that. And then afterwards, one thing that you want to research too is you can research, maybe realtor. Okay, and you can see right here, right? realtor.com pro look good. Then I will look into, rated to help more buyers. Okay, so maybe we'll look into realtor.com. Right there, realtor.com, since realtor.com is focusing on buyers, right? Then I'll go into realtor.com and see what did they post. Veteran, if you're looking for a home, we can help you find the right one and get connected with a VA specialized agent. Perfect. So what I will do is I will look into the ad details and I will mimic after what they do. Okay, I'll mimic after what they do. And sometimes it's okay because, like it is, sometimes what I would do is I will test out all my marketing thing. Some of them I'll just say, yeah, this is a house, focus on the housing. This is a housing guideline. This is a housing ad. This is not a housing ad, and see which one actually will will get flagged. But this is how I will mimic after what they do, because again, they have a lot of money to research and do that do this. Right? I don't have a lot of money. So what I do is I just mimic after them, right? I just follow what they do and I would just do it, right? Zillow. You can see, pump the brake on your pumpkin pie latte, order. There is nothing, right? There's nothing but summer sunshine, right? Listing, and then they're just doing this, right? This Zillow, pump the brake on pumpkin. Okay, so this works. If you qualify for a government-backed FA loan, you can put as little as 3.5. I will definitely catch this if you're focusing on FHA, first-time home buyer. And I'll just mimic after it, get my VA to change some of these, or you change some of these, and use this as one of the ads. And you can see that this ad was being posted in since September 6th. I saw it just now. Right, and he posted on Instagram and he posted on Facebook, right? So you can see all the ads that he's posting, and you just do your own judgment. How do you decide who does what in your household, right? You have a unique system. Again, some of them is just not, do you want to buy a house? Do you want to buy a house? Right? Some of them is kind of like a Trojan ads, right? True or false, right? Can a pet-friendly feature help home sell? Right? Again, some of them is not just, do you want to buy a house? Do you want to buy a house? It just added values, right? And then they just post it. So I think Zillow will be a great place for you to do. And after you decided that you wanted to create a certain one, right? Oh, I could not actually post ads using this. I don't know which one I can use. Yeah, my account is being restricted. So unfortunately, I could not do it for you because I usually do not do the ads. But again, if you want, you can just look into, YouTube, and you can just easily find something that can do that for you. But a couple feature that I wanted to share with you is that you want to be able to look into the target audience. How old do you want them to have, right? How old is their target audience, right? Like what Kendra was saying, the zip code, right? What is the zip code that you want? You can also, one thing that you can also do is exactly know your target audience, right? What is the do they wanted to buy a house? And one of the category that you can create too, let me see whether I can find like pictures to show you guys or not, is that you can actually look for people who are interested in Zillow, that you can actually use them. Okay, so Facebook ads. So in here, you can kind of see right here, right? This is the ad, the ad objective. You want to add, your media and your primary text and all that. One cool part about this is if you are doing a video ads, it's actually much cheaper for you. If people do not watch it more than three seconds, then 3 or 9 seconds, then you will not have to pay the ads. So we found out that video is actually one of the cheapest way to get people to engage. But let's say if not, you can do a like campaign, right? You can do a like campaign. And so there's a lot of different campaign, which I'll show you in a little bit here. So in here, you can put out right here, right, location, right? People who live in this location, you can put like, let's say Frisco, right, within 40 miles, right, between what time, on this. And then you can actually go into even more in depth right here and talk about, who do you really like them to be? So in here, you will see here, this is called the ad setup, not this one. Creating the ads. Right here, right? Oh, where's my thing? Oh, so this is one that you want to also look into. Is that what are you trying to run? If you just want leads, right? You just want leads, not conversion, is cheap. You can just run one for traffic or engagement. So anybody who likes it, right? Anybody who respond to it, ultimately what you wanted to do is you wanted to just click on them and say, thank you so much for responding to my post. Are you looking to buy a home, right? Thank you for, responding to my post. Which part of this do you really like, per se? Right. And then afterwards, you can also do video views. How you do the video views is that you are going to do like a quick 5 minutes video. This is the 5 top tips on how you need to do this. Right. And then they're going to run it to people. And then what you want to do is you want to retarget them. Okay. You want to retarget them into like this right here, they call about the messaging or the conversion ad to bring them in. So what you want to do is you want to do the first one as a video view, and then you want to do a second one. Say, if they watch my video more than 50%, then submit this form and then send this form to them. So then now you're actually bringing the qualified people in first, and then run another Facebook campaign to collect those data, so that it will be a whole lot cheaper. But the easiest thing to do is every day run a traffic ad or engagement ad for $5-10 a day on whatever that you're posting. Then you're going to start drawing more and more people to you without spending a lot of money into it. And for me, door knocking, I know that door knocking doesn't cost you any money, right? Quote unquote, right? It's just costing you a lot of time. But the truth is, it definitely costs you at least $5, $10, $15, right? For your drinks, for your effort, for your gas, right? So I just spend $5, $10 every day that I just do Facebook ads, and ultimately that bring in me more leads, and then I just convert them based on that. And again, at Expresso is a great place for you to learn about, for you to learn on how to specifically do the ads. Okay, how do you specifically do the ads? Let me see. And again, this is just some of the information. Let me see the choose target. And let's see, choose target. And in here, this is obviously for you to choose the target. And then you can also find this one. You can also find interest. Okay, you can actually Google what interest do they have. Okay, so you can look into what are the interests, what are the behavioral, and just have fun with it. Type in, buyer, home buyer, whatever, right? And then they will give you a bunch of suggestion, right? Maybe your ideal client is nurses. So like for one of my agent, what she does is she actually put her interest in speaking Tagalog. They know how to speak Tagalog. They are a nurse. Okay, they have nursing degree, right? And they are a mother, right? So then she will look into all those, and she only show the ads to those people. And they know that if these people are interested, then, if these people are interested, we know that they are closer. So, but again, when she create the post, she is literally talking to them. Hey, I know you're a nurse. I know you wanted to invest your home. Hey, I know that you do not want to work 24/7, but you have no choice at this moment. Hey, whatever that is. But they speak directly to them. And then when she do all these posts, she's doing it exactly what to do. And also, you can also put down, if let's say you said, man, I just really want to make money. I don't want to generate leads. You can also put down that, okay, they are nurses. They are, this, that, whatever, and they must also match at least one of this additional. You can also say they also must be interested in Zillow, Realtor.com, or whatever association that you have. And if they match all these criteria, then advertise your ads to these people, so you know that they are already buyers. All the time, what I will also do is I will put Zillow and Realtors. If they are interested in Zillow and Realtor.com, that means that they wanted to buy something. They wanted to buy a house or interested to buy a home. One other thing that you can also do, one of my friends that is doing it too, is their status. They just got married, or they're getting to get married, or they just have a divorce. I have a realtor who only focus on divorce, right? You're divorcing. You don't know what to do with your home. So then it's easy. I'm going to coach you how to have a proper divorce, how to get the divorce lawyer, and how do you sell the house and not have all these mess, right? So whatever that is for you, that's what you're looking for. And I also have friends who are retiring, so they want to downsize their home. So what they were looking for is people that is more than like 50 or 60 and up, retired, right? And then they will send out all the thing and say, hey, are you looking to downsize your home? Right? Are you looking to downsize your home? Yes, you're looking to downsize your home. Amazing. And then they are just looking into all that. Kendra has a question. Do we train VAs for it? Yes, absolutely. We do train VAs on how to do Facebook ads creation. We train VAs on a lot of, the things that, a VA can do. And I love what Demi say, right? Most of my business is from door knocking, and it costs me a lot of money. I do it at a high level, which is great, right? But again, you can serve Facebook ads as door knocking, because if they respond to your ads, they're already interested, and now you just have to grow them even more. Right. And again, Kendra, to be honest with you, you can definitely use my service because I know a lot about how to generate leads. Right. And another thing is, use Google or Facebook to be your best friend. How can a realtor generate leads? You're going to see a lot of other information that dive into it that can really help you too. And another way to generate leads that I know that's very useful is how many of you guys right now is using Eventbrite to generate leads or meetups? Anyone? Okay, so this is the second thing that I also wanted to share with you, right? Maybe not the second, but I don't know how many one that I'm sharing with you now. I don't know whether you know about this, but I've been doing this for the past 2 years. Very helpful. It is a free way for you to generate leads. Okay, a free way to generate leads. So you can actually go here and, and I'm going to show you who people do that. So I get my VA to set up my free webinar for me every week in my specific area with my ideal client. And then people will sign up. Sometimes it's 1, sometimes it's 2, sometimes it's 10. And again, if you got blocked, by the way, if you do an Eventbrite event and then do Facebook ads through Eventbrite, your success rate is a whole lot higher because they see the Eventbrite is actually sending out the ads and it's not you. Because if you're new, they will flag you because they want to make sure that you're good. But if it's not, you can use this. So let's say, obviously I'm living in Grand Prairie, so it shows Grand Prairie, right? And then search for anything. So how to buy a house, right, in Grand Prairie. Actually, can one of you guys give me your address, your city? I'm sorry. So that way I can just use your city to do that. Okay, I love that. Miami Shore, right? So I'm just going to put Miami Shore, Florida. There you go. Okay, let's see what your competitor is doing. Okay, again, we've been doing this for like the past 2 years, but I know a lot of people doesn't know how to do this, right? So now you can see here, there's top matches, right? There's how to buy a house seminar, right? Real estate investor, how to buy a home without, right? See that there's a without, right? Giving up the game, learning how to buy, right? So you can see a lot of people, monthly home buying seminar, right? So these are what people are doing, how to buy a house. Oh, this is in DFW. I don't want DFW. So let's look at it one more time. Okay, there we go. So you can see right here by Miami, before you buy that purchase, verify your credit history, ready, set, get set. The good news is there is a lot of opportunity for you. Okay, there's a lot of opportunity for you, right, Kendra? Because there's not a lot of people are doing it. And then obviously we can search for online events, right? So turn on the online events, right? And then now you can see, right, Roman Rivera is definitely one of the big one, right? And then there's, some of them, right? So now what I would look into is I will look into this seminar. What do they do? Yeah, amazing, right? Not a lot of competitors. That means you have a lot of opportunity. And what do we do nowadays? We are online, right? After COVID, everybody like online, right? Everybody like some free stuff, right? So as an online marketer, that's what we do. This person obviously is like $295, but I would do a free one, right? I would do a free one, right? And I would literally mimic model after success, right? That's what Tony Robbins always say, right? Everything that she said, are you interested in buying a home? Learning the step-by-step on, how do you start the process, again, copy them, right? In our class, we will cover the 10 commandments of every home buyer should follow, right? These are the 10. What is yours? Who is your ideal client? What is yours, right? And then you will create this, right? And then what you would do is you will make it free, right? You'll make it free, right? And sometimes I wouldn't actually do online event. What I would do is I would do a physical event, quote unquote, right? And I will put my location, Miami Shore address into it. But then when I am hosting this, when they select it, right, I will make it into a Zoom meeting. Okay, I make it into a Zoom meeting. So now what you do is, number one, and you can see, right, this person is doing it like every 6 weeks or something like that. Number one is that you are an authority. Because they found you, they sign up for you, right? You're the authority. Number two is you can selling yourself without selling yourself. You can actually sell yourself and say, hey, you might work with a client, a realtor. You might not be working with a realtor. But if you're looking for a realtor, this is what you need to look for, right? Like for me, as a real estate investor friendly realtor, I provide free staging. Is the realtor that you're working with right now provide you free staging? If not, well, why not? Maybe talk to them about it, right? But I'm not asking them to use me, but I'm hinting them that these are some of the stuff that they should be getting, right? I also say, it's an investor. Do you know that checking plumbing is very important, right? They're like, oh, I don't know, because a lot of time plumbing issue could cost anywhere from $3,000 to $30,000. Oh, I don't know. Well, does your realtor actually educate you on how to buy a proper home? So that I started to give them a lot of hint on, or question that, okay, maybe I shouldn't buy a home by myself. I shouldn't sell a home by myself, right? And then I give him, oh, maybe I really should work with Phyllis because Phyllis know a lot of the things, a lot of the information. And again, you wanted to give them some problems that they want to look into, because what I always do is you're paying me the 3%, not just to sell a home. You're paying me the 3% so that I can protect you from lawsuit. I can protect you from making sure that you're doing the right thing. Also protects you from not allowing the other buyer or seller to take advantage of you, right? That's what I do. What does your realtor do, right? And then sometimes, we fight with Zillow and Realtor.com. Well, if they're taking a 1% commission, what do you think they would do when they negotiate the pricing with the seller and buyer? They're only 1%. That's what they do. I mean, is that what you're looking for? And obviously, I'm doing it through like education. So I'm not saying use me. I'm not saying that. I'm just educating you on what I'm seeing, and I do not want you to run into those challenges. And now at the same time, after the presentation is done, I'll say, okay, if you're interested, I will have a calendar appointment and just schedule an appointment with me, right? And then I can go over the rest of the question that you have, or some of the question that you have, you didn't realize that you have, that now you have. Just schedule a call. Or sometimes I get even more aggressive. Afterwards, I get very confident with it. I say, if you're interested, here is a buyer agreement, fill it out. And then we, then I will give you a call and schedule a call and work with you on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can actually get so confident into it because you're building the relationship, kind of like right now, I'm building a relationship with you, right? You're starting to feel confident with me because I'm giving you a lot of values, right? Same thing with what you do with them, but you're not really selling them. And better yet, you're not driving out yet, right? You're meeting with them here face to face. And then if they really wanted to buy in, then you go meet with them. So now you're saving a lot of time on doing presentation. And a lot of time, if you pay for ads, you can actually present it to like 15, 20 people. I like 15, 20. That is kind of my numbers because I wanted to build relationship with every single one. I don't necessarily write like 100 of them because then I could not really call them by their first name and build the relationship. I notice my closing ratio is lower when I have too many people. So I like the 5, 10, 15 is great because how many do I really need? I just maybe need 1 or 2 to close, right? And if I get 1 or 2 per week through my presentation to close, then that means I get at least 4 transactions, right? And if I'm a solo agent, 4 transactions in 12 months, that is how many transactions? 48 transactions. And if your average is good, it is really good. You get what I'm saying? So this is definitely, really good, if you wanted to really think about it. And again, just like this, right? Just copy what they do, right? And then just mimic after it. Thank you, Kendra. I'm definitely look into, working with you, right? And right here, right? Again, this is another one, right? How do you buy a home, right? How do you buy a house, right? Again, this is something that you can also look into it on how to buy a house. And again, what you wanted to put, just mimic after here. This is not a good way because there's not a lot of information into it, right? So, but again, you wanted to do something like this, right? Like, for example, like for you, Demi, this is something that you wanted to do every single day, every single week with your VA. And again, sometimes there's people that sign up, so you showed up. Sometimes there's not people who sign up, then you don't show up, right? But again, it is free for you. And after you get this done for a while and you get really good with it, right? Then eventually what you would do is that you can actually get your VA to do it for you, and you do it in a replay version. So people will show up to your Zoom and then you do a replay version for them. And afterwards, you just showed up and answer any of the questions that they have. Or even crazier, we also have a realtor who are really grinding it, and they do this using this thing called the Ever webinar, right? Every webinar, yes, it's a great idea to save them on YouTube too, and then make it into public, because ultimately what you do, and again, exactly what you do, right? Your presentation, put them into YouTube and then send it to all the people. Hey, by the way, are you interested in buying a home? Let me send you my training first, understand my training. And if you have any other question, then ask me after. So now you do not have to repeat yourself over and over again. You should have a YouTube, a quick YouTube introduction about who you are, who is your ideal client, how do you focus and how do you deliver? And then you just send it out to everybody. And by the way, you can also do a YouTube video. Okay, so let me share this with you too, right? You can also do a YouTube video. So again, you go to YouTube, right? A lot of people is like, I don't know how to do YouTube ads. One thing that you can do, absolutely, Demi, your VA definitely got your back, right? So let's say, Demi, where do you live again? I know in California, but where in California again?
I'm in Simi Valley.
Simi Valley?
Yeah. I'll put it in chat.
Okay. This one, right?
Hold on. I'm in my car, so it's
Oh,
challenging with the phone.
I got it. Don't worry about it. So you can see right here, right? This person 2 years ago, he said top 10 things to know before moving into Simi Valley, right? This person do 1 year ago. Again, you can do YouTube like this too, right? To create them, right? And then you can see, this person have 377 view 5 months ago. This one 4 months ago, 19, right? So this person is obviously pretty good, right? And what you can actually do is you can actually do a YouTube ads, okay? And you can do a YouTube ads, and the ads actually will run right before. You can actually say, I wanted to run an ad on top of this. Okay, you can run an ads on top of this. So whenever you see ads, I paid for non-ad right now. So let me find another one, another browser that I have, and then let me show you. Right now you can see there's ads coming up, right? And again, you can post YouTube ads using this, like you see right here. This is amazing, right? And again, you can mimic after the content and then just post something very similar to this, right? The time, the hour, right? And then we're going to go back to this person, right? Hopefully there's ads. You can see right here. This is an ad, right? This is an ad. This is an ad for 1 minute, right? And this ad is actually put upon this video. So before you do this video, they will show this ads. So what does that do? You are quote unquote stealing traffic from this person. You're actually quote unquote stealing traffic from this person because everybody quote unquote kind of know this person, Larry, right? Because you see like 4 months ago, Larry did another one, right? For 7.1%, 7.1 thousand view, right? So there's a lot of people that love this area. Right? He's doing a spotlight. So what I would do is I would do the same thing. And you can also see right here, he actually put a location pin on her YouTube. On his YouTube is Simi Valley. So you want to look into how he posted this, right? Again, top model after it, right? Put all these things in there, right? Number 1, Simi Valley, California, right? Try to, mimic after what he does, right? And then again, why is he have... Yes.
I'm sorry to interrupt. So we would obviously change everywhere it says Larry's information, of course. So the hashtag, would it be High State Realty, Demi Fox and Co. Remove all his hashtag, or is it good to keep his hashtag, but then I would route it?
It depends, right? The number 1 realtor in Simi Valley, California, sure, keep that, right? Because that is you too.
Yeah,
right?
He's not the number 1, by the way. I know that for a fact.
I know, but that's what he does, right? And then you can see right here, right? You talk about Miracle Home, right? Hashtag Simi Valley, hashtag Just So, so you can mimic some of the stuff that he does. Obviously, the Larry Watson Home, you just don't do it, right? Don't do the Larry Watson Home, right? Just hashtag whatever. And then because why do you want to use hashtag? Because you can see Simi Valley right here, this hashtag. So this actually allow you to see all the hashtag about Simi Valley. See right here? So this person is obviously in Simi Valley too, right? So then, quote unquote, you're stealing traffic from hashtag Simi Valley, right? Obviously, ultimately, Larry do a lot, and Larry is doing a lot of 2-3 minutes video because he found that this is work the best for him. So then that's what you wanted to start doing. So sometimes people will just use hashtag because a lot of Instagram people, they love to use hashtag. So I would do hashtag too, right? To do that. But the number 1 thing is I will invest some money into YouTube video ads, and then I'll do 1 or 2 minutes video, and I will lay over. Okay, I will lay over. Larry right now will be one of the best one, right? This one has been 3 years ago, 4 years ago. So this person might not be too active at this moment. So I will lay on top of Larry when you're posting a video. Again, use the video as the ad, and obviously post the video, and because a video is ads is usually shorter because it's the attention spam. And then you can also use that video to become a YouTube short for you. And YouTube short will actually go to every place else too. So this will also help you to get a lot of, leads, right? And then sometimes you can also say, man, like, let's say this, you've quote unquote, you wanted to support Larry. Okay. You wanted to support Larry and you wanted to quote unquote also steal some traffic from Larry, let's say. So what you can do too is you can also get your VA, right? You can see like this, all these ads. These are opportunity for you for sure. And then what you want to do is you wanted to also comment down below, like, wow, Larry, this is amazing, right? And then you can somehow maybe talk about
Hey
you.
there, it's Larry Watson with Remax, and today's Spotlight Neighborhood.
Right, you can talk about you, right? You can like the view, right? And you can also put down that, hey, I'm a realtor too. Larry is doing such an amazing job, about the neighborhood, right? Wow, Larry, I have done a similar video about whatever. Like you wanted to sell without selling, like you don't want it to hurt Larry, but people can watch the comments and say, oh, Demi is also in Simi Valley, and Demi is saying that Larry is good. Let me see what Demi is doing. Then they will click on it, and then they will look into it. Does it kind of make sense? So now you're stealing, quote unquote, we're talking about stealing traffic without stealing the traffic. And then if you use the similar keyword search and stuff like that, like for example, like right here, right? You see right here, this person, welcome to Simi Valley, 4 years ago, 10. This is suggested videos, right? So you can see right here that there's suggested video that's popping up that's very similar to him, right? So welcome to Simi Valley, right? Single home in Simi Valley, right? So then you will, you also wanted to figure out a way that you can be a suggested video, like this Michael person, right? Is a suggested video. So you wanted to also try to copy model as much as you possibly can, right? So that you can be a suggested video after Larry, and especially in this area because it's not as competitive, right? So then usually you will pop up because you're using the word Simi Valley, right? So you can drill it into it even more. So this is again another way that you can steal some traffic from it, right? And then again, you can look into it, the top 10 things you need to know before moving in.
Simi Valley is my home. I love it here. It's a fairly large city with a lot to offer.
Right. And then again, this could be something that you wanted to put, you wanted to do another video similar to it or make it even better. And one thing that you can also do, Demi, right, is you can do top 10 things to know before moving to Simi Valley, and then quote unquote, so not quote unquote, bracket in 2022. Then when people look into yours and his, will they pick? They will most likely pick yours because it is the most updated, is in 2022. Or you can use the word after COVID, right? Because people are like, oh, okay, so now this is related to what is going on right now. And the truth is, a lot of the YouTuber, what they do is every year, what they did is they do not update their video. All they do is just put down top 10 things you need to know. And then they change from 2021 to 2022 if the content didn't change. And then from 2022, change it to 2023. And that helped them boost up their thing really, really quickly. So those are some of the ways that you can really generate a lot of free leads, coming into yours. And again, right now, a lot of the people are looking into YouTube and TikTok, right? If you want to do organic, I know it's kind of weird. You wanted to also do TikTok. And let me show you some of the TikTok. And TikTok right now, if you do not want to pay, right? TikTok is one of the best way of generating the leads and then bring them from TikTok into YouTube. And then
if you're trying to
YouTube
save money on food and groceries, this one hack can help you save a ton.
Okay, so
if you're trying to save money on food and groceries, this one hack can help you save a ton. Since school is starting this week, I want
meal prep, so we had everything we needed on hand to make easy lunches. And this trick saves me every time. If this is your very first time here, hey there.
TikTok is going to be a good place.
Hey there, my name is Gina. I'm the Saving Wiz. I help you save money on everyday things, including groceries. So hit follow if you like saving money the easy way. Doing a batch meal prep.
Okay, so you can actually look into here, right? Buy a house in Simi Valley. And just to see what are random stuff that is popping up, right? And you can see right here, Simi Valley. Marcus, buy a house, right? Simi Valley Boys, right? Blogs buying and sell, right? All right. And then you want to look into all the videos that are showing up. Did you see right here? This person sending this, right? They have 929 view. This person have 780 views. What we found out is that, you can see right here, right? This person have 7,000 views. See that? 7,000 views. This is, again, Simi Valley, Realtor, house hunting, right? So let's look at this. So there is a lot of people that's starting to do this right now too in TikTok. And then what you wanted to do is you can also bring them from this to Facebook if you want to, okay, to whatever you want to. And then now here you see like there's a lot of people in here, and for whatever the reason, TikTok actually give you a lot of messages too. And one thing about TikTok that is really amazing is that if you're using it on your cell phone, it doesn't allow you to quit TikTok as much. You have to quit it like 4 or 5 times before you can actually exit out the app. That is almost the reason why TikTok right now is so much more popular, grow so much faster than YouTube, because they tend to keep people staying engaged a lot more. But again, just like this, right? This person is doing this, right? I am doing an open house right now. Right? In Frisco, whatever. So again, you want to look into this, but the key of this whole thing is you wanted to bring them from TikTok into Facebook, Instagram, or whatever that you want. Okay. So, but the key is to bring them in. And again, you can use also TikTok app to create the quick video down. And then you can use this app called Snap app. Remove the TikTok logo and then post them as short in your YouTube short, Instagram Reels, and LinkedIn. Okay, so that is again another way for you to do marketing, and that is how you can generate a lot of free leads. Anyone have any question at this moment while I'm taking a sip of water?
No, I think those are just amazing tricks, because we just started to really work hard on videos, and it's finally getting to my little brain when I'm out. I'm thinking, make a video. I actually just park right now to go door knock while I'm listening to you, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, this is so nice here. I can totally do a quick little video. I can't because I'm listening to you right now, but I can come back later. So it's just to be top of mind. I think for me, that's one thing that's important. Like, remember to do that. I'm not I'm a Gen X, so we're like a little bit behind on, we create a technology, but we don't necessarily think about it right away like the new generation. So, but I have a great team behind me, and I know they're on the call, and I know they're taking notes, and they're going to make me work harder.
Absolutely. I totally agree. And, again, if you are really focusing on social media, want you all to really know this, social media doesn't take off. So far, what I hear is if you do a post every single day, right, and continues doing it every single day, especially focus on the reels, the story, and all that, right? It takes you at least 4 months to see the result. At least 4 months to see the result. I wish somebody had told me before, because I usually quit maybe right after 3 months, right? It's 4 months. You have to constantly do it every day for 4 months. And then YouTube, TikTok, they will start noticing that you are reliable content producer. Then they will start sending you to other people. Okay. But it's 4. So now you maybe want to just do like a time block and block yourself away every day, right? Do a quick video. Or, one of my coach, what he does is he tells us, he just take a day and he just get their VAs to create give him all the topics. And then he just use one day, change a lot of clothes, right? And just do a lot of content. And afterwards, they just prepare the content and then just post it up to everywhere. Right. So again, that might be the easiest way for you. I don't know which way, right? So for me, I don't necessarily like to do a lot of makeup. So I like to do multiple content in one day. So then I don't have to do makeup the other day, right? I can focus on whatever I need to do. But some people like you maybe you do not every day. So then you can just do a post every single day, and you can do YouTube live. And by the way, if you're doing YouTube live, you can actually get more attention from people. And again, it doesn't necessarily, you need to have specific what time you're doing. The key is just to make sure that it's available for you, and you can post it every day. And then people will start binge watching what you have and what you're saying, right? And again, it could be, 5, 10, 15 minutes, of content. It doesn't have to be 30 minutes. It could be really short, right? And, or again, another thing that people always talk about, like for example, today I'm doing this presentation, right? And then my team afterwards is going to go cut all these videos for me. And then we're going to use all these to become, content for our post. Right, these will become content for our post. So then it's obviously becoming a whole lot easier for me, because I don't have to, redo a bunch of training. So now I'm actually using a lot of my training video and then repurpose them into social media posts. So ultimately, I will be posting 4 or 5 times a week, but ultimately, my thing is obviously you will be seeing me in this structure most of the time. But again, that's okay for me at this moment, because I rather post instead of getting it perfect. Right. But again, there is a lot of opportunity in social media on how you can, get really, get it going and get it out there. And again, virtual assistant is definitely, whether you hire a local assistant, do not mind you hiring a local assistant. But again, as a realtor, we are always out. We're always out and about. So ultimately, if you do not want to have an office space, do not want to have another person in there, do not want to pay so much money, right? Virtual assistant is best. And I know one of the challenges as a realtor too is that a lot of the time you have you train an admin assistant, right, or a buyer agent, and they do so well, and at the end they become your competitor. That's one thing that I hear about it all the time. So then they love hiring virtual assistant because they can never become your competitor. Does it kind of make sense? So again, that will be like really, really amazing. For you to really think about. Again, I have a lot of realtor friends, and I also have a lot of realtor clients, and they just love working virtual assistant. And the cool part is because of the budget, right? You can hire 3 people that you usually would hire as local employees, right? And as one, right? So hire one local employee equates to you can hire three virtual assistant at least, right? And then you can just work with them. And a couple of myths I wanted to bring it up, since we don't, I think we have already shared quite a bit. I'm just going to cut short on the presentation today, right? Which is when you're hiring a virtual assistant, make sure that they work graveyard shift. Because as a realtor, you're very busy. You need something that's immediately and fast, so you cannot wait for them. Okay, so hire people that is willing to work with you on their graveyard shift. They are available to work with you on Saturday and Sunday. You just have to clarify with them, because we actually have realtor virtual assistant who work with us Saturday and Sunday to help us write contracts and answer phone calls, because usually those are the days that we are super busy, right? And again, a virtual assistant, just like what Monique said, they can do all the stuff that they actually have already listed for you, right? Social media, listings, right? Signing the contracts. If you are like me, that working with, investor a lot, what you wanted to do is you can actually hire a VA that can run comms every day for your clients. So like I have a client who would like to buy at least 1 home per month, right? At least minimum. So we actually have a VA that run comms, right? As a systematic way of running comms. And as soon as the comm is right, then we send we actually immediately send an offer to the realtor. If the realtor, are interested, then we will get a counter offer back. And that's when we connect the real estate investor. And then we will bring him to go see the house and then put a final offer together. But again, that is something that a VA can do too, because I cannot do everything. If I do everything, I would not be able to make quote unquote $1 million, right? Because, it's $500 for me. Do I want to run 10 comms? Or do I want to do something else that can make me $500, right? In total, right? So again, you wanted to really think about that to figure out how can I leverage, how can I delegate? As a real estate agent, I think the number one thing is it's very hard for you to delegate and leverage. And that is what you wanted to start learning. And it's okay to fail, right? I wanted to tell you, it's okay to fail. I think I've interviewed so many VA before and I fail. Okay. That's why I'm really good at what I do right now, because at the beginning I thought, no, I want to be nice. I do not want to hire them. I'm just going to wait for them to sleep and then wake up and do my work for me. Then realize it didn't work. Not just that, it didn't work for me, making it very complicated. Second thing is that, we do not have that relationship. It's really hard for me to communicate with them, build that relationship. It just doesn't work. Monique has been with me for 10 years and she have amazing health. She looks beautiful, right? As you can see, right? So I don't think there's any challenges about that at all, right? I have a lot of friends and family who is in United States, but even Tony Robbins, he liked to work midnight because he thinks that during midnight it's quiet time. So does that mean that Tony Robbins doesn't have good health? No, he has good health. He noticed that what is his prime time. So a lot of virtual assistants in Philippines also love to work more than 40 hours. They like to work 50 to 60 hours. Then allow them to work weekends, right? There is just a lot of things that I learned and I feel forward on that I got really, really good at. That, it's okay to fail because sometimes we win, sometimes we learn, right? Just like what Stephen Covey say. Sometimes we win, sometimes we learn. Stephen Covey and John Maxwell. So again, I just wanted to share with you some of these ideas and some of these thoughts. The reason why we run a little bit quicker today is because we did not actually do any breakout rooms. So if you have, any other questions, right? Any other new things, we're going to put our email down below, right? Phyllis at phyllisong.com. Okay. Phyllis at phyllisong.com. Feel free to send us an email, right? Letting me know what are some of the questions that you have. If not, we can also put down our link so that you can feel free to schedule a call with us so that we can teach you even more or answer some of the question or some of the misbelief that you have about, how to utilize a virtual assistant in United States. And last but not least is as a virtual assistant, right? They are independent contractor. There's this form that you can just Google it online and you can actually post, you can actually get them to sign, and ultimately you do not have to pay for 1099 taxes, and you do not even have to file 1099 taxes. Okay, but anyway, thank you so much for showing up, right? Thank you so much for showing up and learning so much from us, right? And life will really never be the same. If you hire one VA or EA, right, you can at least triple the amount of money that you are making. And again, one EA per month, one transaction a month. Ultimately, if you really do the math, technically will 10x. It is about at least a minimum of 5 in return, right? In total. Actually, let me think about it. It depends on your average transaction, right? So our average transaction in Dallas, Texas, it's about 250,000 if you're in the lower market, right? So you're making about seven grand. So ultimately, 2 transaction itself will already cover the cost of your virtual assistant in a year. So again, that means that you are getting an extra 1,800 hours in a year. What can an extra 1,800 hours for you to do to generate more leads? A whole lot, right? So again, this call, I really want to just motivate you to, leverage people. Teamwork make the dream works. You cannot really do it alone, especially if you're really good with people. You are definitely not good with technology. If you're really good with people, you might not be good at organization. Then hire somebody who can complete you. Hire somebody that can do social media for you. Social media is definitely the new opportunity right now for you to gain a lot of traffic. And again, today I'm just touching on some of the highlights and some of the tidbits, so that way you can know what you can really do. What can you do for you? And again, I really strongly believe that is it easy for you to work with a work with a virtual assistant? Absolutely, especially if you have help, right? Does it work for you? Absolutely. this work for any real estate agent. I've worked with so many real estate agents, whether they're young, old, right? Busy, not busy, part-time, non-part-time, right? Good English, bad English, right? Does it work for you? Can you do it? Absolutely, right? It might be challenging in the beginning. It might not be challenging at the beginning, right? It always depending on you. But again, when there's a will, there's a way, right? That's what I always tell my VA. When there's a will, there's a way. I always tell my VA too, I am not perfect by all means. So if you know more about this, let us know. And, if you need to focus on social media, hire a social media VA. So in that way they can learn about the stuff. Ultimately, you just need the outcome, right? My outcome when I was a real estate agent, right? I say, my thing is, if I hire you in 3 months, you need, whatever you do, need to generate me at least one closing, right? Then you are a keeper. If I cannot get at least an extra sale from you in 3 months, right? Then most likely it doesn't work, right? But at least give them 3 months to work it up. So then every VA that I hire, right? So let's say if right now you're doing 10 transaction right now. So every EA that you hire, at least, so then you will at least have 11, 12, 13, right? To cover your expenses. But the truth is, every single person that you add, should at least, increase at least minimum, right? 5 transactions for you so that it's a 1 in, it's a 1 to 5, right? So again, now the question is, what else can I do? What else can I do? What else can I do? Right? You can hire them as an ISA, OSA, right? Social media, become a chat assassin, right? And also one last piece is that you can ask them to follow up with your clients. How's the house? Happy birthday. Happy anniversary. Do you know anyone else who wanted to buy a home? By the way, right now I have a free coupon on fixing the roof. Do you know anybody who wants to fix their roof? Right? Do you know, I just found a really good estate representative. Do you know anybody who is interested in selling the estate? Do you know anybody who wanted to downsize their home? I would like to give them a free consultation on how to do it properly so that they can save money and energy and less frustration, right? Again, whatever that is. And sometimes, you can also do whatever you do in another market. And then when you find the leads, refer them to other people to make their 25, 30% per leads. There's so many things that you can do. And then when you grow a team, you just clone everything that you do, give it to them, let them find the ideal client and start the whole thing, A, B, C, D, E again. And best thing is assign them a virtual assistant or get them to hire a virtual assistant so that they can double or triple their work and not feeling the stress. Because the number one thing about the reason why the realtor usually quit is because they thought that they just need to be good with people. They do not know that they actually has to be a business owner and they have to do everything. And at the end, they get stressed out. Most realtor actually get stressed out with paperwork. And then at the end, they just decided that this, real estate is not working out for them. But anyway, if you guys have any other questions, feel free to type it down below. So that way I can let you know. We will definitely show you the recordings in a little bit here. So you guys can watch it. If you register, we definitely have the recording for you. If there's no questions, right? Again, live will never be the same. Thank you so much for listening in to all these values. And feel free to, send me an email or give me any feedback on what did you learn? What else are you interested in? If I hear more about what you're interested in, maybe we'll do another boot camp and then we can share more about the specific tools and specific things that you would like to know or learn. Okay. But again, thank you so much for coming in. I really appreciate all of your help and, look forward to talk to you soon and bye-bye again.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.